cashing in, say, the way Liv did, well, that's like winning the lottery, isn't it? And I don't need to win the lottery because I work my ass off every week for a paycheck.
You ready to make history? Come on now. Yeah. You know, there's these two words. And when I say them, people get goosebumps because they know what happens next. So without further ado, free smoke. Look, scared cause I'm drowning in silence with bad thoughts. These days I don't have nothing to say, man, the bag talks. I put in headphones on my driver, pull up to the spot and give a good dick and Godiva. I can't lie, I'm uninspired. No more pillow talking about nonsense. I only stick around to put some band-aids on my conscience. I don't know why I feel so bad, nigga, that's what we do. No foundation, we don't build no more, we just screw. Half a bottle of Henny, girl, I'm going with the wind. The same niggas say they happy for me, ain't want me to win, so I'm done on my friends. Don't need help popping Coronas and reminiscing. I just call up Big Bro J and say it's time for venting. If I live forever, I hold this hate for some centuries. You don't know how much I have you doing what it meant to me, but motherfuck all that. I don't even offer up the time to make the call back. Stupid Lodo, if they don't get the picture now, man, I crop them out of the photo. I can't relate to my peers. Been doing this shit for years. I'm motivated by fears. I took the wheel and I steer. My sound not dictated by fuck boys in Atlanta. Stay gifted like this album was ghost written by Santa Bars forever, like they decided to throw me under Slammer. Every song's a hit like they picture me underhanders. I could drop 1,000,000 songs, but they never gon' understand us. Soapbox sermons for niggas never giving chances. Fight our whole lives to get these weak ass advances. Work twice as hard for the shit that they getting handed. And this ain't even nothing we chose, nigga, we branded. Still can't tell why all of these niggas mad at me. I'm trying to get 100 so I can put my team on salary. Give it all to the art, man, I turn my life to a gallery. Man, damn, what a fucked up masterpiece. 1,100 shots and I swear, man, I felt them all. If we ain't even good on our blocks, man, who can we call? Pre-decline state of mind, we broke crabs in the barrel. Got us fighting our folk, man, this shit just a life of peril.
It's been a minute. It's been a minute. But listen, bro, you gotta understand. Football is all year, bro. It just is what it is. And I'm great at talking about it. And I have to listen. Sometimes I can't talk about wrestling because I'm legitimately having to do different type of researches. And I don't even want to say research, but I'm having to look at different things pertaining to things I'm talking about on the football side of things, because I'm not going to come into that not knowing what I'm talking about. So I love wrestling. Not really excited about where it's at right now. I really think I need to get like maybe 2 years of Triple H running the show under my belt, because I really haven't enjoyed Triple H running the show at the moment. But nonetheless, I appreciate you for joining me on Wrestling with Saint. It's been a minute. It has been a minute. Apologies. But like I said, bro, football calls, so you know how that go. But I want to talk about something. It's WrestleMania season. Best pay-per-view, one of the best sporting events of the year, in my opinion. It's up there with the Super Bowl. I got a problem. Well, before I even get to the problem, I don't know how many different videos in this series. And maybe it won't even be a series. Maybe it's a one-off. Who knows? I'm hoping it'll become a series. But I want to talk about the Charlotte Flair Rhea Ripley match. And I want to hype up that match, basically. But I also just want to break down that match going into WrestleMania. Charlotte going in defending the women's, the SmackDown Women's Championship. And, you know, on paper, it's a great match going into WrestleMania. Rhea Ripley, a great young, it's hard for me to say great young up and comer. How long is you considered young in the WWE? Because Rhea Ripley done been on the main roster for like 5+ years at this moment. But Rhea Ripley, and it's even hard to say breakout because she didn't have breakouts before too. So this iteration of Rhea Ripley going up against Charlotte Flair in any version, since she done been on the main roster, really, it's a great match on paper. And it's an exciting match. It's history between Charlotte and Rhea. The sad thing is you really can't draw from that history because it would make no sense based off of where these two women are at right now in their careers. And it's really a joy to see Rhea Ripley, you know, becoming such a star right now, over the last year or so. But in the same breath, it's so sad to see a Charlotte Flair be used the way she done been used for probably the last couple years. See, you know, one of the reasons I get irritated with WWE fans is because, so if you're not somebody who watch wrestling a lot, and if you're somebody who do, you got to understand a wrestling crowd is some of the most irritating people on earth, bro. Like, they love Liv Morgan because she is a white girl who looked good to them. And she lost a lot. That's one of the biggest ways fans will love you. If you lose a lot, they will naturally like you. Because for some reason, WWE fans are natural losers. The last time that a heel got like real love and adulation was probably Roman right now. Brock, you got a couple ones. But for the most part, if you lose a lot, like Becky Lynch was beloved when she was a loser. You know what I'm saying? Like, if you a consistent winner, like a Charlotte Flair, like, you know, a John Cena. I don't want to say John Cena. Nobody won on that level, bro, because John Cena's, I'm not even going to get into that. But consistent winning at Roman Reigns, you know what I'm saying? Like, it's a lot of Seth Rollins. When you win a lot, people just naturally hate you. That's the WWE crowd. That's life, but that's mainly the WWE crowd. They want to root for the underdogs. They always feel like he or she is not being booked properly, yada, yada, yada. So I get it. But when you look at Charlotte, I don't even know what my point was through all that nonsense. But listen, when we get to Charlotte, because I don't know how, I just don't know how you have this type of talent and you book so good for Roman right now. You booking so great for Bianca right now, which who knows how long this will last for Bianca, where she can be a babyface and be cheered, winning at the rate that she wins at. Because she technically is the Roman Reigns of Raw, but she still get cheered also. And she a babyface, not a heel. So it's very rare. Like, what I don't even think people realize, and this ain't a Bianca video, but Bianca, a black woman with muscles out the yin yang, absolutely beautiful woman, black queen, as we say, running Raw, the face of Raw. When is the last time a woman was able to say, a black woman was able to say they was the hell, a black athlete not named The Rock was able to say they was the face of Monday Night Raw? She carrying Raw on her back, bro. Like, unbelievable. But anyways, to Charlotte. I don't know how long it'll last, though, for Bianca, because usually you boo people like Bianca who win as much as she do, as dominant as she is. Booking haven't even been great for Bianca. And I actually might have to end up touching on that when I talk about Charlotte, because there's actually a connection there. So actually, it will be a lot of Bianca talk in this video also. But when you look at how, like I said, the Charlotte Rhea Ripley on paper, phenomenal match. That's the match you want. However, the problem is, while one superstar coming into this has been booked phenomenally, and Rhea Ripley is probably who you would want to win in this situation, to go over in this situation. The problem is Charlotte is not at her best right now, not as far as in-ring ability and things like that, booking wise. And that's what always hurt in these situations where they try to put somebody over Charlotte. And I also think that's another situation they got to learn how to fix right now with you got legendary superstars in the WWE right now. Becky and Charlotte are walking Hall of Famers. So, you know, when you have somebody beat one of those two, it's going to mean something. But just feeding wins, it don't make sense. It's like you're not feeding Bianca to nobody right now. And when you had Bianca, as much as I love Bianca, but as much as the WWE done shown you that they love Bianca, they didn't even have her just go over Becky. It was a long, drawn out rivalry because they knew they were going to protect Becky and Bianca throughout the entirety of the feud. It was never going to be no throwaways. They had too much respect for what they knew they had with Bianca coming up and what they already had in Becky. That's not how they've booked Charlotte over the last couple years. For one of the biggest things that irritate me is this Ronda Rousey shit. I love Ronda Rousey. The biggest problem when you have a name like Ronda Rousey coming from MMA, the UFC, to the WWE is that if she want to come over to wrestling, that's fine. But if she have to be the champion, if she can't take losses like other women wrestlers take, or wrestlers, period, not even just women, just if she can't take storyline sense losses, then it will never work. You know how you get around that? Booking her to fight Charlotte. Because fans will naturally boo Charlotte because they don't like Charlotte because she a dominant winner who for so long beat their favorite people. And Ronda Rousey as a fresh baby face who could come in and beat Charlotte is always going to be something you can have. So that will always work for you. But here's the problem. When you constantly have to go back and rely on that start to hurt Charlotte. Because I said it at the time when it happened at that WrestleMania when people kept saying, oh, Charlotte and Ronda had the worst match. I said, this actually wasn't the worst match for one. Two, I have such a heightened level of respect for Charlotte, understanding wrestling the way I do now, to see her go into this dance. And that's what I look at wrestling matches as, is a dance between two people most of the time. And it could be multiple people in the dance. But when you have a one-on-one competition between Ronda and Charlotte, it's a dance. And Charlotte is so very clearly the experienced dancer, the veteran, the GOAT level dancer. And Ronda is also, but not in this field. In another field, she was a great dancer. But in this specific style of dancing, she a novice. Charlotte still found a way. With a Ronda Rousey whose offense was 90% hip tosses and arm bar attempts to put on a good match. But instead of giving Charlotte that type of respect, because wrestling fans don't respect you till you no longer good and can't go no more, or until you have to retire, they don't show you your respect until then. But instead of giving Charlotte her respect, like, yo, how many other women? Because you hated the Liv Morgan and Ronda Rousey matches because you said those was bad matches. But you didn't respect what Charlotte went out there and did with Ronda Rousey. You don't understand how hard it is to have to not just carry your own weight, but also pick Ronda up and carry her along too. Not in a bad way, but to know that Ronda is at this level. And if I want us to be, the only way this can be great is if we is great. So I have to raise my level to help Ronda meet me at that level. And there's no shame in that. Like I said, it's a dance. If one person look far better than the other one in the dance, then the dance don't look good. Both people have to look competent in the dance. But you didn't give Charlotte credit for that. Instead, and that's what's so weird to me about wrestling fans. Like, you don't cheer you don't cheer the wrestlers or love them for their accolades and what they what they do for, like, it's almost if you feel like the ones who lose put way more into the game than the ones who win. And I can never understand that. It's like because Mustafa Ali always losing, he done put way more into wrestling than Charlotte, who always winning. Like that makes no sense. It just makes no sense. So to me, when you look at something like that with a Charlotte, I just think, and there's so many different things that's done taken my enthusiasm out of this match, because this match shouldn't be happening. And I haven't even hit you with the biggest reason as to why this match is a problem for me. I'm just telling you different reasons as to why I think WWE is ruining, not ruining, because you can't ruin a legend like this, but why they is not capitalizing on Charlotte. She done come back in phenomenal shape. Charlotte never in bad shape, but it's just so much you could be doing with a mega star like Charlotte that it just makes no sense to me that she is where she is right now. I'm going to tell you what I hope they end up doing with Charlotte at Mania, after Mania, and going forward. But as things stand right now, I talked to you about what she was able to do with Ronda and whatnot, right? But then it's this thing, when I talk about the fans not really appreciating greatness, I always talk about somebody like a Charlotte, who is so dominant, so very clearly dominant and great at what she does, that it make everybody else in the division raise their level of play. I talk about how you need champions in sports like a Michael Jordan, John Jones, Floyd Mayweather, Charlotte. Think of Tom Brady. Think of Kobe Bryant. Think of Steph Curry, LeBron. Think of all the great champions or all the great players who shine throughout who had their moments in history where they felt like they was unbeatable, where you knew they were the final boss, and to get to glory, you had to get through them. You need those type of greatnesses. Like if you didn't have a Charlotte, I strongly believe without a Charlotte, you don't know how great Becky is, because the measuring stick for so long has been Charlotte. And if you the WWE, how has you not capitalized on that simple fact? Because that's not a bias. That is a fact. Charlotte Flair becoming what she became helped raise the level of everybody. And not only did it raise the level, and I respect the hell out of Trish and Lita. I grew up during that time. They did not do to me, in my opinion, they didn't do for women's wrestling what Charlotte did for women wrestling. And it's Charlotte and the Four Horsewomen, but you got to understand, this is Charlotte's storyline right now, not Bayley, Sasha, and Bex. When Charlotte came to the main roster and was having the type of matches she was having, was able to become as great a heel as any male heel in the WWE. She made you think. Dana Brooke has never looked as like a viable competitor after she was with left Charlotte. Has never looked the same since. Charlotte completely changed what women's wrestling could be. To me, she was the first time I saw a women's wrestling match and I was like, this is unreal. This is what women's wrestling, and then it started. Her, Sasha, Becky, Bayley started putting on bangers. And shout out to Mickie James and all those other ones. I'm not saying that they weren't great. They were great, but they weren't given the opportunities that this generation of women's wrestlers was given to take to the heights that they took it to. Because you could put somebody else in a position that Charlotte and those other horsewomen was put in, and they could not capitalize. They could not come through. Charlotte came through time after time. Not only that, Charlotte wasn't just giving you great matches on pay-per-views. She was giving you great matches on Raw. Go back and look at some of her matches with Sasha, bro. Her and Sasha was having ridiculously great matches on Raw. Like, I'm telling you, Sasha and Charlotte did so much, because we can talk about all the great things that they did in NXT, but when you came to Raw on that main stage, that's when it took it to another level. And it's just almost as if WWE fans just don't realize or appreciate that. That's why I don't like the reactions that Charlotte get. But it's not just on the fans, it's on the WWE. Because like I just said, to have a talent like a Charlotte and to consistently not understand how you should be booking her is ridiculous. Why do you keep making Charlotte a baby face? That is my biggest problem with this entire feud. Not that Rhea Ripley is a heel, but that Charlotte is a baby face. Charlotte was never supposed to be a baby face. Charlotte's greatest work has always been as a heel. You have so many different storylines that are so easy to run with Charlotte as a heel, yet you refuse to do it. Charlotte should have been Roman Reigns before Roman Reigns was Roman Reigns in tribal chief mode, because that's how great Charlotte done always been. But the ball keep getting dropped somewhere along the line. And if you listen to me a lot, I love greatness. I'm one of those people who want to see greatness be allowed to be great at all levels. Charlotte is not being given the tools to be great. Right now, they doing to her what Lamar Jackson is happening to him in Baltimore. Man, we're not going to spend too much into putting talent around you, but you great enough to where we think you can get it done. That's what's happening in Charlotte. I understand not wanting to rush Charlotte Bianca, even though that's the mega match in the women's division right now. But to not start planting the seeds for that is ridiculous. To not have Charlotte being a baby face just fucks up so many different things. And I understand you needed somebody to come back and take that title off of Ronda Rousey. But using Charlotte as your gateway drug to take the title off of Ronda and put the title on Ronda is not what you should be doing with a Charlotte Flair right now. It's just not. And one of the things that I don't like about the WWE is that you wouldn't allow an outsider to come in and just randomly beat John Cena, Roman Reigns, Triple H, or those high-level champions at the time. But Charlotte is so willing to constantly do it. And it's feel like she haven't been rewarded for it in the last couple months. But you keep years and you keep listening to everybody boo her. And I'm like, do you realize what the division would look like without a Charlotte? See, the reason most fans don't understand why having a Charlotte in the division is needed is because you hate on that person while they're there. But you didn't know how bad the lightweight division. See, you think that the light heavyweight division in UFC is a crowded division. But when John Jones was there, it wasn't a crowded division. John Jones owned it. As soon as he left that division, it's a crowded division now. You need that dominant champion. You need that Warriors team. You needed the Heatles. You need those Laker teams. You need those power teams that you hate. You needed the Patriots. You needed to know how great you could be by seeing who was the greatest at the time. It makes no sense to me, the inconsistent booking of Charlotte Flair, how you feed Charlotte Flair to different type of superstars in terrible booking ways. And the biggest thing that's hurting Charlotte right now is the fact that they have yet to give Charlotte a legitimate storyline. They keep putting her in all these little mini feuds. And like I said, nothing's going to work with Charlotte ultimately because the crowd don't want to cheer for Charlotte. I love Charlotte. Charlotte is one of my favorite wrestlers all time. I don't want to cheer for Charlotte in the sense that I'm going to always cheer for Charlotte. I'm going to root for Charlotte as the person. I don't want to cheer for Charlotte, the wrestler. I want to boo her, even though I'm going to cheer her still. But I want to happily cheer her knowing she's a heel. Because that's where she do some of that's her best work as a heel. And when you have a heel of that magnitude, this is like when they kept making Randy Orton a babyface. Like, you clearly have a legendary heel on your hands, but you keep making him a babyface. That's what keep happening to Charlotte. And it makes no sense to take the title off of Ronda and to get that cheap pop because you knew the crowd was ready for Ronda to lose the title. Why not let Liv take the title and then bring Charlotte in as a heel and take it off of Liv? This inconsistent booking, this ignorant booking makes no sense to me when you have a talent like a Charlotte Flair. And I'm gonna be honest with you. If I'm Charlotte Flair, bro, I'm pissed off because I'm far too great. And you know, we always talk about, players and athletes being humble, being for the team first and yada, yada, yada. But if I'm Charlotte Flair, at some point in time, I got to sit down and say, bro, fuck me being great. Me being great raised the level of competition everywhere, meaning other people are being great as an extension of my greatness. And somehow, as things go, the person who raised the level of competition is not being rewarded. Now, Charlotte is watching other women like Becky Lynch have phenomenal rivalries with Bianca. Watching Bianca have phenomenal rivalries with Becky and Bayley. While she's stuck on SmackDown having one-off rivalries because there's no woman on that show who done been built to the level that Charlotte is at. You keep putting Charlotte, you threw her on NXT at one point. Like, instead of using Charlotte to put people over, how about you get back to reminding the world why Charlotte is considered to be the greatest women's wrestler of all time? How about lean into that and go all out on making her the top heel again? Because what's happening right now with Charlotte don't make sense. I'm pretty sure she'll lose at WrestleMania. I'm pretty sure that's what's going to happen. And I hope that's what happened because For one, I get irritated that Charlotte lose so much at WrestleMania. But the problem with Charlotte winning at WrestleMania is, where do you go from there? I could tell where you could go. You could have her become cocky. But what's the point, bro? Have her lose at Mania and remind herself of why she is Charlotte Flair. Right now, what's happening with Charlotte, to me, just it makes no sense. I don't understand how they look at what's going on with Charlotte on SmackDown right now, and they think that's cool. And for the love of me, bro, for the love of me, and I don't want to sound, like a jackass, bro, but if Triple H spent half the time on re-getting Charlotte to where she's supposed to be, rather than calling up every NXT person he can, SmackDown would be an even better show. And another thing, Charlotte being a babyface right now is one of the most infuriating things when you realize you could send her ass right over to Raw right now as a heel, and her Bianca could be absolutely destroying Raw right now. And we act as if they have that rivalry right now, like you done lost it. Bro, Bianca and Charlotte is a rivalry that was cemented by the gods a long time ago, bro. This was always supposed to happen. That's why Charlotte was allowed to achieve GOAT status first, and the gods then brought Bianca into the picture. They said, you think you never gonna see nobody that's on the level of Charlotte? You thought we had Becky? No. We got somebody for you. They gave you Bianca, and all you had to do was then start to plant the seeds, and you did a great job in the beginning. But now, because of your misfocus and just terrible booking for Charlotte why would Charlotte ever be a babyface when you know the fans don't want to book her? Don't want to cheer for her. Why keep trying to force that on the fans? Why? Every time Charlotte is being great as a heel, the fans just organically start to cheer her anyways. That don't mean change her to a face. That's lazy booking. And it's also, to me, and I'm going to be quite frank with you, very fucking sexist at this point. And some people might not got the passion about women's wrestling like I'm about to show you I got. But I got a strong passion for women's wrestling because Bianca, Becky, Charlotte, Sasha, who ain't no longer there, and Becky are special. To me, they are as special as a Stone Cold, Rock, Roman Reigns, and all those. To have Roman Reigns be a heel, and even when people cheer him, to have the respect and the understanding of the story, just because they cheer him, we're not going to change him from being a heel. To understand as a baby face when he was a baby face, just because they boo him, we're not going to turn him heel. To not have that same respect for Charlotte, it's just utterly fucking ridiculous to me. You let John Cena get booed forever and you never flipped on that. You let so many different top male wrestlers let the crowd do the opposite of what they supposed to do, and you don't flip on it. But you do it to Charlotte. You do it to Becky. You do it to Bayley. You do it to so many different, one of the stupidest fucking decisions I can ever remember in recent memory was when you started that Charlotte-Becky feud again, and you made Charlotte the face and Becky the heel. And they thought that was going to work. Listen, one of the reasons the WWE can get away with booking Charlotte so terribly at the moment is because she is a Roman Reigns she the Roman Reigns of the women's division, but she is also she never going to AEW. She's never going to AEW. So you can have some leniency there of knowing she not going nowhere if we fuck up. We just can't fuck up too bad. But to me, at this point, the underusage of Charlotte and the just terrible booking is what's hurting this match, in my opinion, with Rhea Ripley. And Rhea Ripley also suffers because of that. Because could you imagine what this match would be if Charlotte was a top-notch heel right now at the height of her powers, going up against Rhea, who taking the belt off of her? I don't know how you have these type of... I'll never understand it. I will never understand it. I don't know how you have Jordan and you don't win 10 chips. I don't know how you have Charlotte and you don't, have the top heel in the business on a year-to-year basis in the women's division. I don't know how you have LeBron James, Steph Curry, and don't win a championship nearly every year. I don't understand a lot of different things in sports, bro. And this is one of those things. I don't understand how you so blatantly, easily, obviously, consistently misuse Charlotte Flair. I don't get it, because I done heard so many women at this point talk about how Charlotte is the GOAT. And I don't really need them to talk about it. I don't remember the last time I done missed really any. I done watched Charlotte for so long at this point, man. Like, the Charlotte-Bianca match is the ultimate thing you should be looking forward to, because that is undoubtedly the Ali Frazier of your division. That is the John Jones Ngannou of your division. That is the Mike Tyson Ali fight of your division. That is GOAT taking on young GOAT. But if the booking not there, then what's the point? Because you have such a easy story to be had. Because Bianca and Charlotte is great. I mean, those is the two. You throw Becky in there, just unreal how great those women are. And to like, and that's why I'm always going, and I'm in it. This is always weird to me that, people say Sasha was done dirty. I don't think Sasha was done dirty. But, maybe I need to go back and take a look at Sasha's career. Because if she felt like towards the back end of her career was starting to feel like how Charlotte's is, because I feel like Charlotte has actually been done a disservice the back end of her career. You use those championships and you say, oh, it's the championships. But real wrestling fans know it's the stories. It's the memories. Charlotte's starting to get unmemorable title reigns. And if that's what Sasha was feeling, even though it's hard for me to agree with that, because I could literally tell you, run down Sasha's last couple years. She had that run with Bayley, the matches against Bayley, the tag teams with Bayley. Like, Sasha has had hell of runs. But this is just very unfortunate. I'm not upset. I'm disappointed. And I hope they figure this shit out and get it right, man, because Charlotte is a megastar. It just is what it is. She is who you measure yourself against. It's very rare that you get to have a GOAT of the division in a prime with this many great stars around them, where you can mold this thing to be some of the greatest women's wrestling we have ever seen. You can make moments that will never be forgotten in this women's division right now. And for some reason, you're stalling on it. And you can only rerun this shit that's happening on Raw with the same women so many times. And I keep saying this. Whose idea was it to put Charlotte on Raw? On SmackDown. Who keeps sending Charlotte to the weakest show with the women's division? Like, people, and it's so crazy because they keep sending Charlotte, a great heel, on a show with a bunch of loser baby faces. Why? And all the best women wrestlers always end up on the other show. I just cannot understand whoever is doing this. This is like that shit where Golden State, like, we want to win with the old players, but we also want to start the new era at the same time. Like, if anybody from WWE hear this, bro, I'm begging y'all, bro, please stop wasting Charlotte's career, bro. Please. Y'all never was trying to put all these motherfuckers over when John Cena was in his prime. Y'all wasn't trying to put all these motherfuckers over when Hulk Hogan was in his prime. Y'all let a lot of these GOATs have their moments. Y'all let a lot of these GOATs have multiple moments. Y'all did not constantly use these GOATs to put other people over. But what has Charlotte been doing the last couple years? Nothing really helping her case for greatness. So, as much as I am excited to see Charlotte Rhea Ripley, there's a lot of things that stopping that match from being as absolutely great as it should possibly be. Another problem with that match is that Rhea Ripley should have been the one that took the title off of Ronda Rousey. Could you imagine how epic that moment is at WrestleMania, her taking that title off of Ronda Rousey? Officially establishing herself as the it. She is going to run SmackDown now. You know how many different things you could do with that? And you start the Charlotte feud with Bianca. But instead, you go this route. It's just very disappointing. But with that being said, I hope it's a great match. But I appreciate you for joining me on Wrestling with Saint. Tell somebody you fuck with him. Tell somebody you love him. Saint out.
You're only good because I showed the world how to be great. Before you came along, these people loved me. I was the man of the people.
I got the moves like hot sauce. Lil' mama taking the top off. I'm laying down getting topped off. After this, she know she getting knocked off. I know she loving the money, so I keep on thumbing and thumbing. She say she horny when she taking shots, so I keep them coming and coming. Now I'm putting dick in her tummy, scoop her up like I'm raking her something. You would think shawty red track, the way that she running and running. You getting dumber and dumber, you out here chasing the bone. After she finished from giving me dome, the Uber is taking her home. Tight.